I guess the short answer is through the internet, online dating. And then I was going to school in Lethbridge, came home for the holidays, and then we just went out for coffee one evening.
It was probably within a couple days, and it was at a little coffee shop called Hot Shots.
I kind of thought there was a little twist to this story.
There is a little twist to the story. We always say the short answer, but the longer answer is I was dating someone, we broke up. We left on good terms, but it just was life circumstances didn't work out. He had said that he went on a date with a really nice guy in Cranbrook, and he knew that I grew up in Cranbrook, and so told me his name. And then I kind of Facebook stalked Jason for a while I was in school, and then came home for Christmas. And then online dating profiles in Cranbrook for gay men was pretty nil. Everyone didn't have profile pictures. So I just sent everyone between the ages of 18 and 30 like the same message until I got their photos, and then I stopped messaging the other ones and only answered Jason. So I kind of trapped him.
I don't remember this at the time, but he told me that I was sitting away from him the entire time, like kind of scared to look over. I knew I wanted to be there. I knew I liked this fella, but I wasn't too sure how to act and like what to do and where to put my hands and what to say.
He sat with his body like totally to the side, and he wouldn't make eye contact. And every now and again he would like glance up. And so then at the end I had no idea if we'd have a second date, but then he responded through text message. So keep on the introverts, eventually they'll respond.
His hilarity, his personality, and just a super kind individual. And he was quite confident as well, and just knew what he wanted.
I think being a over-talker, extrovert, there's something very endearing and calming about an individual that doesn't have that forced anxiety speech, who is quite comfortable in being in the moment. And a huge part was that him and his dog were best friends, so. We went on our first date December 20th, and then I went back to work for a little bit, and then we went on our second date Boxing Day. I came back home, and then we spent every day together until I went back to school. And so I think by the end of that time, it was probably, I think we spent enough time together. Is this a thing? So I would say pretty quickly.
He was living in Lethbridge at the time, so we kind of saw each other on and off. He would bring me frozen yogurt, which we didn't have in Cranbrook at the time. So it was really special when we did see each other.
It was fun, but also really challenging. One is I didn't pay attention a lot in school that year. But it also gave me a lot of, I don't know, it was a fun, kind of a longer chase perspective, I guess, because it was back and forth. It also allowed me to come home a little bit more than I normally would.
When he did finish schooling in Lethbridge, he decided to move back here and start pursuing work here, in which he did move in with me in my one-bedroom apartment with my dog at the time.
I remember crying to Jason on the drive home, being like, promise me I don't have to live in Cranbrook forever, which I now love. I absolutely love, and it's been great moving back. But at the time, it was a big thing. And since I was moving home, it just worked to be able to move in together. And his rent was stupid cheap, so we were able to like split super cheap rent, and it worked out great. Mika hated it when I moved in. His dog really didn't like me moving in because then she didn't get to sleep on the bed.
I was very much a bachelor at the time, with flags on the windows and like a poker table as my kitchen table in my living room.
I always told people that the first time I went to Jason's apartment, I walked in and I said, oh, so you're just trying out being gay? Because it was like a bumper pool table for the kitchen table, There was a Heineken flag for the blinds on the window. There was like 5 bicycles hanging on the wall. It was just very not your typical put together gay household. So moving in, I think I made a lot of changes initially. Overall, he was a good roommate. We've gotten along great.
I kind of just thought it was gonna be me because I never really thought about him making the first move at it. I don't know, other things going on at the time, whatever. I knew this was a great idea and it was going to happen eventually, but I just didn't take the forefront.
I guess I had always determined that Jason being an introvert, I just didn't think it would happen. So I was like, I'm gonna take charge of this. What we had done is a friend of mine had done this project and it was called a 1 second a day movie clip, where for a year she filmed something every day in her life and then you spliced it down to 1 second and then you added all of the videos together to play a full year in review. So we started doing it 1 year, and I had signed up to do a theater show, Young Frankenstein, with the community theater that they were doing as this big thing for New Year's. It was this big gala event.
After the show was over, we were out back having snacks and drinks with the rest of the folks that were there. And then he said that there was like this thing he needed for me to see on the stage or like in this other room. I don't know, I guess I didn't know where I was going.
I took Jason up to the theater and they had reconverted it back into a movie theater and they had put candles down the aisle. And so when we walked in, our year in review played, and then I had my ukulele and I played Jason the first song that I ever wrote him on the ukulele, which was from our first Valentine's together. And then I proposed with a ring pop because why not?
I had absolutely no idea that it was gonna happen that evening.
And he said yes, and then it worked out great because then we just went downstairs to the party and then we had like an engagement party that was already planned out and it all worked out.
It was really quite, I guess, like low-key in our own way, which he knew that I wanted. I think he wanted to, but he likes like bigger, more fantastical things, so I'm sure he would have been fine with a huge wedding as well, but I think he kept it low-key, probably for me. We got married on Baker Mountain, went right to the top, and just on a little viewpoint down from there, did the whole ring exchange, the ceremony. Some family was invited there, and then the big shindig back at Fort Steele at the restaurant there, which was super awesome. It rained, nobody cared. We had great food, there was great people there. Like 50 people, I don't know. It was small, it was awesome, and it was great.
Very handsome.
Handsome, short, balding. I love that I said that, and that better stick.
Quiet.
Over the top, energetic, kind. Adequate.
Really great when he's very drunk.
Very good house cleaner.
Fine. Yeah, fine. Good. Yeah, for baking, great.
When he chooses to bake, or cook anything, he is very good at it. Very good.
Great.
Oh, yeah, crazy. He steals the show every time. Sometimes I need to not laugh so that it doesn't go to his head.
Ooh, probably many. Interrupting his stories.
When I don't put a dish in the dishwasher. Just one dish.
He's very genuine.
He does have this like showy personality, but in the end, when we're just sitting here together, he's super down to earth. And maybe that's my teary question.
The big thing for us, I think, is the small acts of kindness. We both have fairly stressful jobs at various points, and so little things go a long way. Like one of my favorite things that Jason ever did for me was we had gotten in a fight, went to bed, which I also don't believe in not going to bed angry. Go to bed angry, because sometimes you wake up and you feel shameful about what you did, and then it's easier to apologize anyways, so don't live by that rule. But I woke up and there was a little note on the counter that said, "Sorry for being a little bitch yesterday," and I just loved it. It's been my favorite note that I've kept. And so I think just small things like that. The other thing is finding activities that we do together. We love to bike. Jason got me into running, which I've really enjoyed with him. We love to go camping. But then we also are fully fine with being apart. Having that trusting relationship that if someone wants to go off and do something, being allowed to do that is really great.
Growing up, whenever you said something or maybe made it known that you were gay, it definitely wasn't perceived as a good thing. So I think that you just kind of have this idea in your brain that it's not cool or not right to show affection or these sorts of feelings towards your partner when you're near other groups of people, whether it's large or small. But I think just knowing that this person has your back and it really doesn't matter what happens, I can nestle into you or like maybe put my hand around you in a theater or something like that. So I would say it's still, and it's probably always going to be a challenge.
My upbringing was not very gay forward, so I was raised very, very religious. My parents are amazing, but they did the best that they could do. Finally, when I was really gonna live my life, it was still a challenge. My parents were open to the idea, but still didn't understand how it would fit. And I remember very early on into mine and Jason's relationship, my mom had taken me aside and just said, "I can't imagine you with anyone else." And for me, that has been the most important part of our relationship, I think, is understanding how perfectly he fits into not only my life, but changing the views of those that were important to me.
If Tyrel and I had never met, I wouldn't be with a really great person that I enjoy and laugh at and am proud of. It's really great that it did happen when it happened, because then COVID happened, and imagine trying to date during COVID.